Hey guys, Doublelift here from Seoul, South Korea, and coming at you with a vlog. It's about 11 p.m. We just finished our day of practice and thought I'd do something productive. So, trying to make this concise. This is my second take. The first take sucked. So, the most general topic is why are we in Korea? Okay, so there's a lot of reasons, and okay. The first one is a change of environment is always good. A boot camp implies there's some sort of level of intensity that has changed from being like, the regular season where you're just grinding it out, sort of like a workshop in your house, in your gaming house, and a change of environment kind of gears everyone up a little bit more. And that's a pretty minor one. I think the biggest one is just the sheer number of really, really high-level players and teams that you're exposed to over here is way more than in NA. So in NA, we would only really be able to be scrimming C9 and CLG, the other two teams that made Worlds. Now, imagine if one of them, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but imagine if one of them decided to go to the Korean boot camp, then we would only be able to scrim one other NA team. But still, scrimming two other NA teams, you don't get exposed to that much different metas, different playstyles, different strategies, and really not that much top talent. When you move to Korea, you're able to scrim Korean teams, Taiwanese teams, and Chinese teams, also regarded as the three strongest regions, excluding MSI this year. So another big one that people generally don't talk about too much is the 8-ping that you get in solo queue. Now, I think, and I'm going to make probably a much longer video about this in the future, but 8-ping trains your mechanics and creates better players so much faster and so much better than solo queuing in NA, which is, for us, 70 ping, and it is just a totally different game. You're training totally different muscle memory and decision making and everything. Just the fact that they're able to play solo queue, and we're now able to play solo queue on 8-ping, is just super instrumental in being able to compete at Worlds. Alright, a lot of messages I got on social media and Twitter ask about scrims. Now, my personal stance on scrims, talking about scrims, is it's a lose-lose situation, and first off, confidentiality. It's just a trust issue when you're scrimming teams. You don't want to talk about scrims. You just don't want to talk about who you scrimmed. You don't want to talk about how it went, and there's just never any upside. Let's say that you did really well in scrims. Now, basically, you're just bragging and saying that you're doing well in scrims. You're also creating false expectations for your team to do well, and for you to do well, because you're the one talking about how well you're doing in scrims. You better show up. That's not always the case. Sometimes you're scrimming teams who are like just lesser teams, and so you're expected to win those scrims. Sometimes you're scrimming teams of equal skill, and they're experimenting and trying new things, and they're losing because they're not exactly tryharding 100% playing to win. Now, if you're losing scrims, there's not really a point in talking about that either. It's sort of like demoralizing your fans, and yeah, really talking about scrims in general, I think it can get really misconstrued and misinterpreted. So that's why I never answer questions about scrims. Schedule is another big topic that I got, and good questions. My personal schedule is, everyone on the team has a totally different schedule. For example, Soren will be up late at night playing solo queue. I'm more of like an early riser and an early sleeper. So I wake up at 7 and I go to the gym, eat breakfast. Then at 8, I play like 3 hours of solo queue, sometimes 4 hours. And every day is, I'm just going to average it out, I guess. At 11 a.m., we start prepping for scrims. We start scrims at 1, and we finish at 11 p.m. And in between that, we have some sort of break, either an hour or 2 hours to eat and, unwind. Or, decompress. Unwind is the wrong word. So, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. is pretty serious team practice, training environment mode. And after 11 p.m., I generally just go to sleep. As soon as it's all done, I'm super tired, and right now you can probably tell I'm pretty tired. And yeah, the one add-on to that is the food here, which I get a lot of questions about. Now, I know Korean food is really good, but being here, like in the boot camp, you don't have time for Korean barbecue or sit-down restaurants, nice restaurants, especially where we live. There's not a lot around. So, Korean barbecue and sit-down restaurants take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. That is just not reasonable. That is not going to happen when we're training for Worlds for a meal. So we order a lot of delivery, almost exclusively delivery actually, and it's super unhealthy food. It's really greasy, high calorie, simple carbs, and it's really easy to get fat off that. And it's also just really easy to feel like shit. I feel like shit from the food that we eat here. My voice is all like hoarse and stuff because it's just like greasy food in my throat. I know I'm gonna get jokes about that, but yeah, it's there's not a lot of healthy and convenient options in Korea. I'm pretty spoiled from LA, where you can just order like pretty healthy, chicken, vegetables, that sort of thing to your doorstep. And it doesn't also help that we don't have a Korean speaker with us, living with us. And my closing thoughts about going into Worlds is just the meta is always going to fluctuate. The meta that we play in right now is going to be different than the meta that starts at Worlds. So I'll just say that I think the patch changes were really mild, and I wouldn't be surprised if not a lot of things changed between playoffs and Worlds. And I also kind of wouldn't be surprised if there was a shift towards, different roles being more carry-oriented, different roles being more utility-oriented. For example, Ashe, I think, got nerfed 6.17 and 6.18, so she'll see much less play during Worlds. But I don't want to go too much into what I think about the meta because it might give our team a disadvantage. And you never know, like, things change so quickly between the top teams. People are always trying to find the counter to how to beat another top team. Every region has their own meta. That's what I learned coming here. Every region has what they think is a power pick, and it's interesting. The clash of styles, the exposure to all this different teams and playstyles and strategy is like, it's really good. It's really good for us. And I'm just excited to go back to NA. I'm like grateful for this opportunity to boot camp in Korea, and I'm grateful that TSM and I think Logitech were able to support us and do this to help make us better and prepare better for Worlds. But I'm really looking forward to going back to NA. Like, I miss it there, and not only that, but I think it'll be fun to play Worlds with like the home crowd, with the home field advantage. The crowd's with us, that we got their energy. I don't know. I just think it's like that Cinderella story. You know what I mean? Like, people say that no Western team has ever looked as good as us, and to an extent, like, without trying to be super cocky, I kind of agree. I can see it. I can see it being possible, and the fact that Worlds is in NA this year, and I don't know, things have been going pretty well for us. I feel really optimistic, and I'm just gonna be really happy when the fans are with us, and we're playing on our home crowd, on our home territory. So hopefully I'll see you guys there, and thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting me, and I'll see you guys next time.